guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of CryptoZombie. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day today. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies having a little bit of an indecisive end to the weekend. We do know that there always is that anticipation for what could happen on Mondays. Now, keep in mind, we're only 3 days away from the monthly close. This is a pretty important monthly close for Bitcoin. I do want to discuss it, what we can expect in the prices for the next 3 days. Having a look right here, Bitcoin still kind of hanging around those levels. We actually tried to kind of push down and dump. We got down to about 10,560, and currently we're still sort of just going sideways. But actually, I just want to say something. Before we even go into the video, I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone for all your support. I refreshed my channel this morning, and guess what? I literally finally got a verified check mark on my YouTube channel after 3 years. So thank you so much. It has been a long journey. First, we got our nice little silver play button, and today we are officially verified. Thank you so much. Without you guys, I wouldn't get up and do this every single day. And of course, it's a two-way street. You're welcome. I love making content. We're all a big crypto family, so really awesome. Just wanted to say thank you, and I'm happy to finally be verified. But getting back and talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, I do want to discuss the fact that yes, we do have 3 days until the end of the close, and Bitcoin could potentially still break its all-time high by the end of this year, or minimally, there still is that $15,000 target. Now, a lot of people have become bearish due to a lot of different factors, not just technical, also due to the fact that, we're having the pandemic, the scares happening again over in Europe. We have elections coming up. There's uncertainties in traditional markets. So those could all be factors. But I do want to point out that we have some extreme network fundamentals that are absolutely booming. In fact, we have 23 of them. Don't worry, I'm not going to go into all 23, but there are a lot of fundamentals right now that we can talk about. And there is still that potential that within the next decade or less, we could see Bitcoin potentially 60xing from its current price. And I'm going to tell you exactly how that's possible. So we're going to talk about also one possible potential short-term bearish signal, which unfortunately the last time this happened, we did see the major capitulation crash. However, this time we may not actually get that signal. So a little bit of positive, a little bit of negative. You know how these crypto videos goes. Today is also Sunday, last day to comment for the Ledger Nano S giveaway. We do that on Monday. If that sounds good to you, well, you know what to do. If you are not subscribed, definitely consider it. And let's be honest, let's get into the charts right now. So having a look right here, that's why you're all here, right? So having a look, we are at that level, that $10,746 sort of middle range area. We talked about this sort of range. We have the low around 9.5, the high around 12. Right now on the weekly, we are actually hanging right there, sort of kind of in that do or die mode, no man's land. But what is going to happen Monday, we will know for sure. Now, having a look over here at Bitcoin futures, interestingly enough, we do have what some people may be calling sort of a bit of a bear flag forming after this dump. And that's this blue triangle right here. And that would technically be bearish. But if we do have a look at the overall triangle, which is just this giant green sort of, it's basically like an asymmetrical triangle that's forming. Well, this would technically be bullish because it's coming out of an uptrend, right? So textbook says that if we're in an uptrend and we're forming this asymmetrical triangle, then we actually should be looking for a breakout to the upside. Now, keep in mind, we could potentially bounce around all the way until the third week of October. I mentioned this in yesterday's video. So, we may not be seeing that big move. That we are looking for a big move, but it could potentially take, unfortunately, until the third week of October to really see that move play out. Now, of course, Bitcoin has a tendency to potentially do things sooner than later. And, I have seen a lot of bearishness in the space. Maybe it's a lot of new people, these 20% dips can really freak people out. But like Don Alt said, it's very, very weird seeing sentiment be this bearish with neutral or negative funding above 10K. Don't think I can remember a time where that has happened before. And he also went on to point out the monthly chart. He said it currently looks like a simple retest of support. As long as we don't crash in the next couple of days, that is typically bullish. And it is very common to retest these supports. Nothing goes straight up. In fact, even during the massive bull run of 2017, we had 20%, 30%, 40% plus pullbacks, right? And actually, if we have a look over here, this is actually on the Coinbase chart. The level really to hold above is right here, which is the June monthly candle that we put in 2019. And you can see that was the top right here. But, even if for some reason we do close below this level, I don't honestly think that that is doom and gloom. Bitcoin's going to crash, but it could set us up for a retest of back down to about the $8,500 level. And that is because this level was the previous resistance right here. We had a little bit of mini support. We had another resistance again right here. So Bitcoin likes to bounce around some of these key levels, right? Now, like I told you guys, basically, if you look at the unspent Bitcoins, we have massive levels at around the $10,407 level. Whalemap said, feels like the Bitcoin bulls have won. Many supports below at 10,407 and 10,570, and volume profile support at 10,500 should not be going below $10,400. But the big question, what if we do? What if we do, K-Dub? What if Bitcoin falls? What if everybody is right and, we're about to be in for a big crash? Well, okay, fine. Let's talk about the one thing that could be potentially holding Bitcoin back, just so we can look at both sides of the coin, pun intended. There is this thing referred to as the parabolic SAR, which stands for parabolic stop and reversal. So it could potentially be looking to print a textbook sell signal after this recent move. Now, keep in mind, previous sell signals have been disastrous for Bitcoin prior to, this Bitcoin bull trend. So back in March capitulation, we had the big crash, a sell signal appeared, and that was around 14,000 highs in 2019, just 2 weeks after it reached that level. It also formed that signal. Now, having a look right here, you can see Crypto Hamster has pointed out that weekly parabolic SAR is approaching maybe to flash the sell signal. It will happen if the price goes below 9,800. So we are hopefully going to have a close above the $10,400 level. We have 3 days to see what happens. If we're able to close above that level for the monthly support, then I think we can basically say that Bitcoin is still in a nice uptrend. If we close below the $9,800 level by the end of this month, we are going to have this signal flash sell. And you guys know what you can expect, right? An opportunity to buy the dip. That's right. I like that attitude. I heard you out there. But realistically, looking at Bitcoin on-chain indicators, basically everything right now is either a buy or a strong buy. We have the MPI, which I said last time flashed around zero. Bitcoin had a 1,500% increase. You have the Puel multiple, hash ribbons, right? All exchanges, outflows, moving average 17, stablecoin supply ratio, network value to Metcalf ratio. I'm actually not familiar with that one. Stock to flow. We all know that one, right? So things are generally looking relatively good. And as Willy Woo said, he is a very prominent on-chain analyst. He says Bitcoin will decouple from traditional markets soon, but driven by its internal adoption S-curve. Think startup style growth rather than changes in perception as hedging instruments by traditional investors. Fundamentals of user adoption have already broken all-time highs. And another thing I want to talk about, fundamentally speaking, is we did have Bitcoin finally issue its 18.5 millionth coin. Now, this may not seem significant. Maybe it's not. It's just an arbitrary number. But as of today, 88% of all of the Bitcoin coins that will ever be in circulation are currently in circulation, which means that in just these short, almost 11 years now, Bitcoin has 88% of its supply already circulating, meaning that there's only 22% left to be distributed. Now, think of all the people right now that do not own any Bitcoin, that have no exposure to it, not even just retail. I'm talking about these big multi-millionaire billionaires that don't have exposure to Bitcoin. You don't think they're going to feel like they're missing out once they realize how little essentially there is left and how slow the remainder is going to actually come out, right? The majority of the Bitcoin came out early, but due to the halving, we have less and less and less and less that comes out each year. This theoretically should increase the demand, right? Only 44 million millionaires in the world, 21 million Bitcoin. You do the math, right? Now let's talk about some potential targets. Well, ARK Invest provides investment consultancy with a sole focus on disruptive and innovative technologies like AI, machine learning, and blockchain, etc. Now, our firm thinks that Bitcoin's aggregated market value could soar up to 25 times from where it is currently. In the United States alone, for example, deposits totaling 14.7 trillion generate about 1.3 quadrillion dollars in settlement. I can't even imagine that number. Volumes between and among banks each year. If it were to capture just 10% of those settlement volumes at a similar deposit velocity, they say we believe the Bitcoin network would scale more than sevenfold from roughly 200 billion to 1.5 trillion in value. And that's not even the craziest prediction. Let's talk about what Galaxy Digital says about Bitcoin and its growth potential. They actually had a new report that came out recently, and they say that investments in Bitcoin from macro investing legends like Paul Tudor Jones, we saw MicroStrategy investing. They think this is just the tip of the iceberg. Now let's talk about Bitcoin as a potential hedge against inflation. So they say, quote, gold's market cap is currently around 12 trillion. Bitcoin's value, on the other hand, is currently around 200 billion, less than 2% of the gold market cap. That presents a potential greater than 60x market expansion opportunity if Bitcoin grows to gold's levels as an alternative digital store of value. So what is 60 times what we're at right now, right? Well, we're at around 10,000. Just think about if you had one Bitcoin right now and you multiplied that by 60x, that would be an insane value proposition. Why anybody wouldn't want to try their damnedest. I know a Bitcoin is expensive. $10,000, $11,000 is a lot of money, but just think about what you are owning, a piece of the most solid network there is ever created on planet Earth. And they say institutional adoption and usage of Bitcoin has surged since the pandemic, thanks to swelling government debt and fiscal stimulus hitting record highs. They do say it's tough to predict what the digital world of the future may look like, and no one can say with absolute certainty which investments or assets will emerge victorious, but Bitcoin has a large head start as the leading global store of a value alternative to gold. And I'm not finished yet. Stick with me, people. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I want to point out what Byzantine General was talking about. Now, he is a very popular Twitter analyst. I do follow him. I suggest you check him out as well. And he said that there are 23 key technical and fundamental factors that could buoy Bitcoin's medium-term bull case. I'm not going to go into all 23. I don't want to bore you guys, but to highlight some of them, we have the Bitcoin futures market that's finally neutralizing. He emphasized that the consistently negative or baseline funding rate is a positive factor for Bitcoin. We also have lower open interest that implies that there are now fewer leveraged positions in the market for the medium trend of Bitcoin. He says this is optimistic. Also, according to the MPL indicator, the Bitcoin market is less overheated than before. Similar to previous bull cycles, he says that this gives the cryptocurrency market a big reset, helps it to cool off, right? You don't want to go straight up. That's never healthy. Also, we have the crypto fear and greed index showing that market sentiment has become relatively neutral, also showing that things are taking a bit of a cool off, right? We're not overly exuberant bullish. We're not having those crazy alt seasons, but we're also not in total fear and dumping. Fundamentals are also strengthening. Hash ribbons recently gave 2 consecutive buy signals. These signals happened during the first recovery after minor capitulation. We knew things were going to get a little bit rough after the Bitcoin halving, right? And he says the Bitcoin production cost is currently green. Simply put, this means that miners are potentially taking losses. Maybe it's not very intuitive, but historically speaking, these are amazing buy opportunities. So take it as you will, my friends. I'm not saying buy. Nothing on this channel is ever financial advice. These are just my opinions, but you know how I feel. And honestly, I think that these opportunities in the future will be looking back on ourselves and kicking ourselves saying, why didn't we scoop up more Bitcoin? Think about when Bitcoin fell to the $3,000, $5,000 range when we had that crazy black swan event. Everybody was freaking out. I had people texting me saying, this is it. We're going into a full-fledged 2-year bear market. And today, we're above 10,000. We're trying to break 11K. Okay. So it's crazy how quick things can turn. So That is basically that section of the video. And for the remainder of the video, I do want to talk about Rio DeFi. Now, Rio DeFi is actually a public blockchain that's being built on the Parity substrate framework and fully compatible with the Polkadot network. Now, you guys know that I've been extremely bullish on the Polkadot ecosystem recently. And yeah, I do think, especially with what they're doing with oracles, sort of removing that need for trust, etc. Definitely been pretty excited about it. And I do want to give a shout out to Rio DeFi. They are the sponsors of today's video. And I just want to go over a quick, brief overview of essentially what they are doing. Now, what they're trying to accomplish is essentially a bridge between centralized and decentralized finance systems. And they do want to facilitate cross-chain transactions. Now, we do know that is one of the greatest components about the interoperability nature of Polkadot, right? They're also going to have a wallet as well that you can access payment systems, and it will allow you to withdraw fiat off of your crypto account. So basically, to break it down, I actually want to revisit this Medium article that they put out, which they said, this is their vision. So it's essentially a world in which everyone has access to decentralized finance services. Now, one of the problems that we have right now is that the current crypto market involves less than 1% of the global available market. So Rio DeFi wants to help bring that other 99% of the world into cryptocurrencies by essentially providing software solutions that are scalable, interoperable, and upgradable, and hopefully easy to use for the average person, right? Rio DeFi is building a new financial system enabled by blockchain technology and smart contracts, and they aim at redefining the key performance indicator framework of blockchain technology by obviously prioritizing adoption, performance, and ease of use. This is achieved through various components of the Rio DeFi technology stack. And I'm going to give you 3 examples. We have Rio Chain's economic model breakaway from the traditional blockchains by directly incentivizing applications and users that contribute to growing its ecosystem. You have the Rio wallet, right, which integrates a wide variety of digital assets, addresses into one public ID, and also Rio Auth, which is a breakthrough authentication system that allows users to access their digital wallets via things that they're already accustomed to, right? Things like emails or social media logins, but through a safe manner, right? Because people right now, we are used to, as much as we want people to be their own bank, let's be honest, people do not want to change what they're used to doing. They're used to passwords, login credentials, right? They're used to forgetting their banking password and then calling up their bank and saying, hey, can I reset my password, right? Unfortunately, you lose your private keys, you're screwed, right? So these are the types of solutions that are basically going to spur adoption of blockchain-based protocols and services that they say will lead to a more inclusive, efficient, and secure financial ecosystem. Now, in case anyone's wondering, they have already been fully audited by Certic, so the code is legit. There are no bugs. Everything is good. You don't have to worry about that. We've seen a lot of freak accidents recently with unaudited code, so I'm glad to see that they actually have been certified by Certic, which is a very reputable audit company as well. And, they are looking to release this wallet relatively soon. It should be available for Android and Apple stores. I don't know the exact date on when they're looking to release this, but I do know that it's very soon. It shouldn't be something you have to wait too long for. And then the thing is, they already do have their partnership with MoonPay. So right now you can actually buy, right now they have Bitcoin, Ethereum, USD, and USDT. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more added. I mean, they're really not even technically sort of out yet, and they already have this available. So that just shows that these guys are working. You can have a look right here if you want to see an example of the Block Explorer if you're interested. And you can also see that, one of the projects out there, MantraDAO, they've been really, really popular lately. They are part of the dApp ecosystem of Rio Chain for Rio DeFi as well. So that's actually kind of good to see another project supporting this project. I do like to see that. So essentially, that is basically what they're focusing on. You guys can go to their website and watch this video. Security, interoperability, and adaptability at its core. And obviously, being part of the Polkadot ecosystem, well, you guys know how I feel about that. So check out Rio DeFi if you are interested. And one more story I want to just mention before I go is that less than a month away, we have the first central bank digital currency is nearly a reality. So we have the Bahamas having finalized the start phase of their new CBDC, central bank digital currency, right? Now, scrolling down here, they say while October 20th would make the currency the world's first, it's not bursting onto the scene all at once. The so-called sand dollar will be released in phases, beginning with access to private institutions such as banks. During phase one, these organizations will have to ready their operations and set up Know Your Customer KYC operations. And the second phase, planned for early 2021, will involve public organizations like utility companies and services. So big things are coming. Digital currencies are here. Crypto is just the beginning. And yeah, I mean, DeFi is just getting started. And once we can get past all the vegetable tokens, well, I think we may actually have something we can work with here. So thank you again for coming back to the channel. Thank you again for all your support. I am finally a verified YouTube creator. Couldn't have done it without you guys. Give yourself a pat on the back. Drop a like. Or not, just stopping by makes me happy. Thank you so much. Don't forget, drop a comment if you guys do want to win the Ledger Nano S. Descriptions for everything I've gone over in the video below, links below, free Telegram below. I think we've covered it all. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. You guys rock. I love you. You're the reason that I do this every single day. That being said, heads up, tomorrow I do have some stuff going on. I'm going to try to get a video out. It's a 50-50. I may have a video out tomorrow. I may not have a video out tomorrow. Most likely I will, but just a heads up. Thank you again. You guys rock. My name's K-Dub. This is CryptoZombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And of course, peace out.